So I don't know where to start. So I always take like 1 or 2 boards every year that I wrote some special stuff on, and I keep those boards. And I think this is, should be cleaner, but this may be the first board that I was ever given. And this is one of Rosignol's first 50 boards to come into the country. I went to a race and I was on a beat up board. I borrowed a board. It was my first race. I won the race and the guy's like, keep it, man. And I kept it, and that started a 19-year relationship with Rosignol. This, I can't remember if this is my first or second split board. But this guy, it's actually pretty darn well done. Trying to find the original Jones. There we go. The first Jones split. So yeah, I shot deeper on this. Oh, here's the board I rode Shangri-La on. This I rode the Grand and Denali on. This was a special board. Well, let's start at the beginning with the flagship, maybe. All right. Yeah, so Jones flagship. This is what the company is built on, which is a hard charging free ride board that is really a direct lineage from what I was doing at Rosignol. Rode for them for 19 years, had my own line of boards for at least 10 of that, and just slowly been evolving it. And this board has a lot of meaning to me, because this thing is, when I got on this, I was like, wow, we got something here. Ironically, this wood top sheet we've come full circle on. We've played with a bunch of different materials, but we realized the properties of this wood on how the board rides plays a way bigger factor than we previously thought. And that only took about 50 test boards to figure that out. I gotta go, I guess we can go, let's go into hovercraft world. So it's funny, when this board, I came in and I wanted to make a board where I compressed as much as I could into a small shape. So this has a really long side cut, basically has a race tail similar to this board over here, and then a blunted nose. So this was a 156, and the fact that we were riding POW on a 156, previously that would have been on like a 165, and Dmitry Milanovic got a hold of this board, and he actually did a volume test on this compared to a traditional snowboard, and he came back to me and was like, this has the float of a 167, I think he said, of a traditional narrow board. And all I remember about this board is this thing showed up and it snowed for like 10 days straight, and it was a POW fest. And then over time I started riding it on hard snow, and I'm like, wow, this thing is insane on hard snow. And now, from the get-go, we always called it, don't call me a POW board. And now people know it as just, it's really a all conditions free ride board. Killer for touring, which is why I got this board here, very special board to me. This is the Ultracraft. This is our first foray of going really deep into lightweight construction. And this thing, I rode Denali on this, and I rode the Grand on it. And it's this shape, as we have these die-hard hovercrafters, is optimal for touring, because you have this bigger board, but stuffed into a smaller shape, super maneuverable for kick turns, and then just handles all conditions. So this board continues to, I think my it wouldn't surprise me that I end up on a 152 really lightweight hovercraft and am just running around skin tracks when I'm 75 years old on a 152 super lightweight hovercraft. This is the original solution, and this was one of the reasons why I started the company, because at this point, most of my snowboarding was split boarding. I was sick of splitting, solid boards. I knew there was room for improvement with split boards. So that's why one of the main things and why I call this board the solution. And this is a first gen solution. This one shot deeper on this. I love my Doug Coombs sticker and C.R. Johnson sticker. I remember, man, because I was like, everything was new to me, alpine starts and stuff, and it was intense hiking these lines on this board. And I had the Coombs sticker. I'd look down all the time, and especially on those dark starts, and it's like, man, Doug would be psyched to see us out here. And sadly, CR passed while we were filming that movie, and so honored him with that. Carbon flagship. This is, when it comes to really serious riding, this is the board. I don't even have to think about it, and which is why I brought this board to the Himalaya and rode Shangri-La on this thing, and which was definitely the most technical line that I'd ever ridden, and an example of, it's like, yeah, we got these boards that work really well in POW, but we really care about how they feel between here and here, because that's when you ride nice. I was literally like on the edge, clinging to the side of a mountain, and that's why we have this traction tech. You never feel it unless you need it, and I sure as heck needed it that day. So yeah, this is an example of kind of how we get to the boards that we get to, and I guess with me, I'm always looking at ways to take like mundane, average conditions at a mountain that I've been riding for 20 years and make it magical. So that's kind of that 0 to 1 star day into a 5-star day because you nailed your equipment, and it's just feels amazing, and like you have these new feelings on a mountain that you've been riding for a long time. And that's why all these boards have different shapes and what have you. And as I say to my kids, the best person on the mountain is the one having the most fun. And it's why we call these instruments of stoke, and hopefully they help you have a good time out there on all the days, not just the perfect POW day.